Hello and welcome to the Heat Signature Daily Challenge. It is the 14th of November, and today we're stealing 3 parts of the Way Bright Necessity object while being seen as little as possible. We're dying, we're silent, tough, and X-Glitcher. There goes my controller. Being seen as little as possible, silence or not, it's like mildly relevant, but mostly just still a downside. We got a hammer to bash dash around with, quick fire, armor piercing shotgun. Okay. And a breach grenade launcher. Ayo. It's going to be timed by 2 seconds, which is annoying to deal with, but that's a breach grenade launcher. And we got a brick as well. Okay. Okay. So worst case scenario, if we breach and we lose the key, we can still blow up the room next to the target. That's exciting. Alright, no 0-second docks here because target's in the same room as this. If this was a ship fleas, just a timed ship thing, we could brick here and then brick here, and then we'd be safe and have all the time in the world. But yeah, crate's right here. I could just brick this, and then they separate off, and then I might kind of want to just maybe immediately brick here. Then I can maybe get directly into the crate, though it's a little annoying to dock there with this. Yeah, I'll decide on the way. Ah! I got pulled in. Alright, where's the telepad? Telepad's right here, so if I break over here, then that just gets rid of worry about reinforcements as low as that already was. I think I'm just gonna break here. Going down slightly, but it's not a huge deal if I miss. Alright, there we go. Separated cleanly. Now the question is, can't see any doors. I like how the steel message is just floating up here in space. Because that's the center of the ship right there, not this. Yeah, I'm wondering. I wish you could like dock and just like briefly see inside from out here. I'm thinking brick here if it's possible. If it's possible, then that's at least a 50% chance of getting us directly in. Ah! Come on, let us. Okay. So is it just that? Is that what it is? So this doesn't normally well, this doesn't. So this lighting up right here, I think, indicates that you're within range to dock. And it seems that if you're within range to dock, you clip through the ship. But, well, or at least, maybe not that you're in range to dock, but that you're in targeting range to dock. And the targeting range to dock gets higher if you're not actively controlling your pod for whatever reason. It's like it's activated here. Oh, wait. So once it's activated, does it? Maybe once it's activated, it stays on. Once it's activated, it stays on. until you leave the farther area. Interesting. So if it's on, then I try to go through, I go through. If it's off, then I hold this. Okay, so that's what it is. Just actively accelerating makes this targeting radius smaller. And once you enter the targeting radius, you stay within it. Okay, that explains why I had troubles before where I would try to test to see if I could bounce or not, and I would just not go through. And okay, that explains things. That explains things. All right, match speed. We're drifting pretty steadily. So I think I'm just gonna go. All right. We don't get a direct way into there. So we'll dock here. It's a little actually annoying to dock here because we might grab onto that with our match speed, which I would prefer not to happen. Well, I guess if we wait long enough, the ship will veer off because it's technically in a. Yeah, we were on a timed mission. We shouldn't waste time. Timed as in we are dying currently. Maybe I approach from here and then just try and line it up perfectly. That would be pretty cool if I did that successfully. Okay, that's solid. All right. I did forget about needing to wait for the breach grenades. Nothing to do but wait. Is there nothing to do but wait? Hold on, let me think about this. Right now we need to wait. But what if... Does that count? I think it's too risky to try it. But my thought right here was, what if we let this go in, and then once it's inside, we leave and immediately book it without pausing or anything, and then it blows up while we're away. This separates from the ship, and then we leave, and then we come back when it's separated. But I think that since this cargo crate is in the same section as the pilot, this will still be considered part of the ship later on. And also, I don't really have the dying timer time to spend letting these drift ages apart. So we're not going to worry about that. If I remember, maybe I'll test that afterwards. Let these both chip away so I can have them on cooldown. All right. So this is gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up. There we go. And then we immediately, oh, I didn't think that would launch me so far. We immediately go over here. Dock. Dash. Dash. Hold on, do I not? Oh, I launched Steam in administration mode because I was playing games on the remote play stuff. So I need to launch Bash in heat signature in administration mode. So now I can do it. All right. Any grenades for me? Just guns, so we'll ignore it. I love this. Just the imagery of docking to just a single square. All right. We return to pod. So with the breach grenade taking 2 whole seconds, it brings into question whether or not it was actually faster to do that. I think it was worth a shot. Or having a 50-50 chance of getting directly into the target room is worth a shot. Explosive. And it could be the guards were standing right outside of the crate room. Don't actually know which room they were standing in. Alright, what is this again? Reinforcements, guns, explosives, alright. Let's see what we got. Now, once again in the same room. Telepad is not in a easily breachable. We could breach this and then it basically just not ever reach us. But I also could just do a straight up brick this and hope it gets us in. We don't have to wait as long for a breach grenade this time. We got this one cooked. I think I'll just do that. God damn it, I'm not recording, aren't I? Nah, at least I remembered halfway through. Okay, I guess I will do. That confirms that I will. I'll redo the beginning. At least so you can see what the ship looked like. That is very funny to me. Because the reason the video is not being picked up was also because I had launched Steam in administration mode earlier. And then I specifically, because I couldn't get the screen to capture, I realized, oh, I need to launch OBS in administration mode, and I did that. And then I neglected to try and get it to display the visuals. Oops. Okay, and we've got a direct docking access point. Perfect. And hopefully not too many contractors get into annoying positions. It should be fine. We're off in a corner and they shouldn't have direct access to us. As long as the crate's in a room. If it's not a room and it's just in a corner, then we'll deal with it. Doop, 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 doop. Alright, there we go. Dash in. Loop. Is it something useful? Nope. And we return to pod, drift a little bit so we don't redock by accident, and leave for 8 seconds. Feels like that should be a little bit faster, but maybe I'm just not thinking straight. Alright, shotguns and explosives, heavy reinforcements, tractor jammer, lots of guards. Okay, I don't want to go through that whole thing. And would you look at that? Pilot's all the way over there. So we can like brick here and try and brick here, or we can just brick here and here. also just brick here to see if it were... Well, we can brick here and then let ships separate. Yeah, we've got 5 minutes. We can do that. And get a little bit closer. No, don't duck, no! Alright, we still got a little less than 5 minutes, it's fine. And then this is reinforcements. Telepads are usually over here. Yeah, so if we brick here, we'll be fine. They won't spread. We aren't terribly concerned, but we prefer it to be the left one. Just because it lets us get on without a key. Or waiting for a breach grenade. Wait, what? Oh, I missed. Wait, I missed? I missed? Excuse me? That's pretty worrisome, actually. You're up, pressing the wrong one. That loses us a lot of time. And also I missed and I may not be able to brick it. We can't quite brick this off easily because we can't break this one. It's too close to that docking point. We could break this and this, but I don't know if we'd be able to get in between to here. Maybe. Alright, let's just do a quick test to see if we can do this part. Okay, that's doable. Alright, let's pay closer attention to our aim this time. Drifting down a little bit. Drifting down a little bit, so we'll aim a little bit higher. No! Alright, well, while we're on this side, let's brick the other side. Oh, is this going to be a problem? Is that docking point going to be a problem? That docking point might be a problem. Let's take a close look. I think that's gonna be a problem. Yeah, so what we discovered... Oh, I think it wasn't on video what I was talking about before. Well, I'll explain it afterwards. So basically, there's two radiuses at which one of these activates to like be the one that's targeted by the pod. The radius is larger if you're not activating thrust, and it's smaller if you are. But once you enter into the radius, it locks you into a state where you can't collide with the ship. Which that somewhat explains why we're able to clip through the ship when we're undocking. Interesting. So I might just get too close to here by docking, by going through here, get too close to this, and then it locks me into go through the ship mode. I can theory, I should still be able to brick this room. Though that's incredibly risky with the crate right here. But if I want a 0-second dock, that's what's gotta happen, so. I'm flubbing some of the bricks today. Uncharacteristic. I'm not actually confident about this, but I am tired. No, what? I tested. I was able to bonk against it. All right, well, at the very least, let's try and get this one. That'll at least get us close to the target if it turns out we can't do this. Maybe it is that I'm just tired and sleep deprived. That would actually explain a lot. We're a little to the left. That's looking pretty solid. You know what, I'm gonna turn off the UI for this. Get a little bit more precision on my aim. We're mostly just drifting away, so I feel okay about this. All right, so that hit on target. Hold R, hold A. All right, we can do one more bricking attempt. And let's get closer. Just take a look at it. Take a look. It's in a book. Yeah, okay, so that explains some things. So like this will never be brickable, I think. Well, this will never be brickable. Because in order to brick this, we have to get through here or get through here, both of which requires there to be loose docking points around here. And once we get within a couple rooms of them, then it activates the docking mode and we go through here. Okay. And then this is right on the edge of being brickable. We're a little too close. See, that's here you can see this lit up and that lighting up compared to this one being a little dark. That lighting up is what shows you that you're now clipping through the ship. And now that we're clipping into this ship, you have to get a fair distance away. Still lit up, still lit up. Now it's down. You have to get a fair distance away before you can even bonk again while holding down. Why is it triggering from so far away? Does it trigger when I pause? No, it triggers. Why is it triggering so far, so like far are we now? I was able to bonk this, right, before? Like 15 minutes ago? Why is it almost 5 minutes? Why is it 5 minutes till I need to turn back time. This is taking so much longer than I expected. Well, this is a doozy, and all because I've really messed up that first brick, huh? How does... Hold on, how does... You see that range? That thing was lighting up for me all the way down here. Alright, if I hold like this, can I brick... I can brick the interior. Interesting. I just kind of assumed for a while that this would all be no limits for clipping through because it's like the interior of the ship. But no, it only becomes that if you're close enough to one of these. I am learning. I am learning a lot. I'm also not able to do this in 0 seconds. So we can brick here, but we can't brick here. I can't brick here. Not with you in the way. And I can't get you out of the way without bricking here and bricking here and bricking... Just a lot of places. Okay. I think that leaves us with brick here and hope that it opens up to the crate, and that's our best shot. All right, this would be a little disappointing, but I did learn the intricacies of a mechanic that I've long wondered about, so that kind of evens out. There we go. And it opens directly into it. Yay! Hold A, and the last one's gonna be D or W? D. All right. Just get back in. Yeah, we would have had like a minute and a half. Well, I did a lot of failed attempts and trial runs here, so I would have had like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes at least to wait for the ship to separate. Just taking a look. But I got you separated off. Yeah, interesting. Oh, I probably shouldn't have taken a look. We're running out of time. Oops. Time, what do you say you are? I got 30 seconds. We're good. We're good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're good. Yay! All right. Oh, just barely still managed to get in first place. Just a little bit ahead. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Yeah, could have had a much better time there if I was a little bit more careful, but we learned. I still managed to get first place just by a little bit. And yesterday, we have me in first place with 31 seconds and a 5.99. 7-2 coming up in second. Hinamari Sketch Homer in third. Cassandra in fourth. And Drazdal Bachelor in fifth place, making up the top 5. Nice job, everybody. And I wanted to do this again, but now I need to turn back time in order to do that. 1 second. And we change galaxy just to reset it. And there we go. All right, what was I even doing? I can't remember exactly. I think I mostly wanted to see the ship interior. Okay, so it was this group. All right, so here's what I did in my previous run. I bashed here, separated this off from the rest of it, and then I bashed here in hopes that the crate would open directly over to this, but it didn't. So I docked here, and then launched out a grenade launcher. Wait for it to... That's what it was. I wanted to separate the cargo crate from the rest of this and see if it still counted as 0 seconds. All right. It's fine. Oh, does this change? And I think, for whatever reason, the rule for this detecting that the pod is near and that you should go through the ship is different if you are in the pod for some reason. Not sure why. Maybe it has to do with the ship being loaded. That would make sense. No, that doesn't make sense. No, because you can still do that while it's... No, that doesn't make sense. And yeah, I'm not sure about that, actually. Can't actually do this in slow motion, which does change things a little bit. Match speed, we're drifting down a fair bit. Ah! Alright, let's just go with this. Right. And apparently I went through the ship. Why? I don't know. The weird little intricacies of these mechanics are an enigma. We'll just drop ourselves off here. With 32 seconds on the clock. Alright, make sure we don't go too far down. Gotta be a little bit careful. Alright, there we go. That's right, I remember. Don't press D, hold A, hold R, hold S. Alright, so that's spinning away. And then we brick this one. This is repeating what I did before. I guess I don't technically have to brick this one. I could just do the rest with breach grenade launchers since I'm not going for time. You survived somehow. I'm guessing bricking this got you in particular to move around or something. Huh. Interesting. Alright, so that happens. We hold that. We hold A, we hold W. Alright, and now we get me on board. Yep. Alright, I'm curious, does this go back? Okay, the steel icon does go back to that center bit. And so, yeah, if we breach here and then wait long enough, does this count as a separate ship than this? I don't think it does, but we will find out. And then what I was going to do is let that cook down, and then instead of waiting the full second and change for it to blow up, we just leave and let the ship unload. Like so. Alright, go far out of their range. Let them split on their separate courses because, well, it's a faint... Well, it's a faint, whatever it's called, orbit. It is orbiting a point in space, and so this will fly off eventually. Unless I got rid of all of its... Oh, it's still got a thruster. It's fine. Wait, no, that's a gun. Oops, that's a gun. Okay, we're going to be waiting here longer than I expected. So this may... For this particular case, with us caring about the dying timer a little bit, this may not be a feasible in an actual play. Alright, that's most of our... half of our timer. How far are we separated out? I'm not seeing other ships. So just to be careful, let's keep going with it. Might as well go as long as far just to test the hypothesis. So yeah, my hypothesis is that it will still count as the ship because it was in the same room as the pilot, and I think that carries significance. Alright, let's try now. So we're at 41. I was wrong. I was wrong. Okay, has the issue that I happened upon in the past perhaps something like I waited for them to separate, but I didn't wait enough, and so the other section of the ship, which is actually just right here. So it could just be that the times I've done this before was when I had a dying timer in it, so I didn't wait for forever. And so this section was still within range of this one, so we still got the countdown. That's my guess as per how I got that misconception. But we can grab it, and we can leave in less than 1 second. And if I go over this way, it'll start counting up again. 42, 43. So yeah, we were just barely out of the range. 44, 45, 46, 47, and now we're out of its range. Okay, so that's where my misconception came by. So on the other hand, if this had an engine like I thought it did, but it's actually a turret, then this would have stayed on its orbital course, and this section that I'm on right now would have continued down here, and that would have rotated up here and would have been very much in the clear of its radius. Okay, I learned. How am I bonking this room? What do you... Oh, I'm bonking this room because I'm in the pod. Hold on, does that happen if I'm in space? I forget. Okay, yeah, so specifically if I'm in the pod, then it's more likely to bonk. I wonder, like, what code logic decisions led to that interaction being how it is. I could blow up this room now. Gotta time it right. All right, let's do it. I missed. Oh well, that's fine. All right, learned things. I'm dying and I learned things. Alright, I was not expecting this to be a 40-minute run. Alright, I learned things. I learned things. Tomorrow, the challenge Saturday, and we got 1 billion sidewinders and a glitcher stick, so tomorrow will be pretty quick, huh? No bash dashing, but we got the ticks and sidewinds. That sounds like fun. Okay, I learned a lot today, and I at least remembered that I wasn't recording the video only after the first ship and not the entirety of the ships. Yeah. Nice. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you. Imagine if I just wasn't recording, period, after all this points. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you tomorrow.